Hey fellas, so this is a Warlock Stygian Coal dot spreading creation. I don't know what else to say. So we're using Aura of Decay mixed with Drain Life and Profane Veil to spread heaps of poison around and heaps of damned stacks around. So just to give you a quick little look-see at what's going on. It's very early on for me on this build. The character's high level, but the build is not. The gear is pretty basic, but I just swapped this over from one of my old builds that I was no longer using, so because I wanted to test it out. And as you can see, this is what you do. You just run through the map, casting Drain Life, spreading damned and poison to everything. Pop your Wandering Spirits to top your mana up. Use Profane Veil to spread damned around. And yeah, just keep on running. You can pop Transplant on cooldown. I've been a little bit slack on it, but that also gets you a good amount of mana back, because the more maximum mana we have at the time of using Drain Life, the more damage we do. So it's always good to try not to spam Drain Life, even though it's very tempting, so that our mana stays full, so we're doing maximum damage. Okay, so that's that. Let's have a look at what we're doing. So a bit of this was from a very old build that another YouTube creator called Dread made. I remembered it from a very long time ago, and I was like, you know, I wonder if we can get that working nowadays with the new items and stuff. So we've got our Aura of Decay, and we're specking in. We're just grabbing as much poison stuff as we can get. We get some area, and we get some regen. Profane Veil, we come up here, we get mana cost reductions, more damage, Mark of Death on enemies. Okay, Mark for Death on enemies, and then number of spreads. So this will spread Mark for Death, and then the other stuff you can. A lot of the other talents you can choose whatever you want, and this is what I've currently gone for. Transplant, health cost reduction. We come down and we grab Kill Threshold. It's great for executing bosses, you know, just teleport onto the boss at the end and murder him. Bone Curse on arrival. Here, this one, Mana Restored. This is what we're mainly using this for. Okay. Get that mana restoration. Wandering Spirits, so we get all the poison stuff for it, because Wandering Spirits is pretty good. Reduced cooldown reduction, reveal rate, but then when we come up here, we get the mana cost efficiency, ward gain per spirit, and mana gained. So whenever a minion dies, right? Chance to gain mana whenever spirit expires. Yeah, so whenever the spirits expire, you'll get 8 mana. So you just keep clicking this whenever it's off cooldown, and your mana should stay relatively full. Okay. As for the passives on the passive tree, this is just a basic little setup right here. Some armor, int, ward, and then straight into the Lich tree next. Okay, if you're leveling this in and from the start, you want to go into the Lich tree before you go into the Warlock tree, because you really need to get Drain Life at least. So max out, grab all the int, and grab some of this poison stuff. You don't have to go all the way at the start, but at least get these 2 skills unlocked, because these are our main damage. Okay. And then we'll head over into the Warlock, and we will just head down through taking these pretty much all in order, right? So just grab all this stuff in order. If you're like, how does the build order go? get this tree, get at least up to Aura of Decay in this tree. Alright? You can finish off the last points in here later. Then come into Warlock and just work your way through maxing and grabbing all the points you see here. There will be a build guide with the fully finished planner. Obviously, there's still some more points to put in this character. But yeah, that's pretty much how that goes. So for the gear, it's all pretty basic stuff, and it's very underused items. So if you are on trade, or even on COF, like this build is very easy to get going. The only real requirement is getting the Stygian Coal, but it's a low level relic. So even for COF players, gambling with Runes of Ascension, if you gamble 10 Runes of Ascension, I'm pretty sure you'll get it. So let me know how you go getting this if you're a COF person. These rings, we've taken these rings mainly for the health regen. You could, I haven't checked yet. There was one thing I wanted to check was, if I go and shatter these, do we get to keep the health regen as one of the stats? So if that's the case, then I will probably put these onto exalted rings. But for now, we will just leave them as is. Get yourself a Chitin Dagger if you can. So COF people, Prophecy Daggers, and grab these for the poison chance on hit implicit. You also want to get some damage over time on there. Some mana and mana regen is advisable. Unless you're really careful with your mana, but I would probably go for it. Chance to poison is something else. You roll like a lot of things on here. So this dagger is pretty good though, as you can see. From there, I've grabbed this chest piece with health regen is the main thing. We got some poison damage and 1 level of drain life and some alley res. All round reasonable chest. The helmet, once again, health regen. The spell damage per skeleton mage, well, that's kind of a waste, but more health regen on there and flat mana. Okay, flat mana is also a big deal. More flat mana on here, mana regen. Health regen per second, fizz res, good amulet for this build. And on here, we've got some more flat health and health regen. Great belt for this build, just never use your health potions. Okay? If you use your health potions, you're gonna have a bad time. You are better off just dying. If you pop a health potion, you'll probably die. Alright, so don't use health potions. Just keep running and doing damage. What else? Stygian Coal, obviously, the main thing for the build. Get some flat mana on there if you can. There's a bunch of other stuff you could roll on there if you get a better one than what I've got. The main things you want on this is to try and get the ward while channeling, the chance to ignite on hit, and the chance to apply damned on hit. Okay. They can all roll up to 84%. Alright. And as you can see, 1% increased Stygian beam frequency per intelligence and 3% more Stygian beam damage per 10 current mana. Okay, so that's why you want to try and keep your mana topped up at all time, because you are getting 3% per 10 mana. That's also why you want to stack as much mana as you can. Vessel of Strife. This is mainly to help with ward. That's why we're stacking health regen currently. And I'm currently just trying to get more of that on all my gear. I want to get my ward resting at like 5 or 6k eventually. That's the plan. And I can probably do that once I swap out my idols. The boots, fiery dragon shoes, bonus damage taken from crits, reduce. Great pair of boots, very cheap, Pretty easy to get, so I mean, you can really pick any boots that you want. You could take some blood boots or whatever, but just get some move speed on them, maybe some int or mana, or and Mortality's Grasp for the damn chance, Mark for Death chance, sorry. Also, they're so easy to get a like 3 LP version. For some reason, these level 62 gloves, it seems to be very likely to get a 3 LP. So you can get some good stuff on them. Idols, I'm currently running these, which is damage over time, while you have elemental overload. They can roll up to 88%, so finding some good ones of these would be great. I might drop 2 of them and get some more survivability, some more ward per second, you know, health, blah blah blah. But aside from that, that is the build. So, you know, if you're going to give it a shot, or you just like mucking around with some weird stuff, drop me a subscribe and a like, you know, helps me out. I enjoy making all these videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.